Time to rank some Shari Lapena books. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Zach with Zacks Books, and today I've got a Shari Lapena ranking video. So I have read all 6 books that she has got out currently. Just finished the end of her, which was a pretty solid book. Did enjoy it, but twist towards the end, not the best. But I'll get to it in a second. So we'll have the 6 of these linked down below if you're intrigued with any of them. Don't forget to check out the links down below. We've got the podcast going back up. We've got the merch store, we've got the bookstore, we got all this stuff going on. Check it all out down below. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the rankings. Alright, so there are 6 of them, and I am going from least favorite to my all-time favorite. In last place is Someone We Know. So, unlike the title of this book, I don't know anybody in this book. I honestly don't remember any characters that stood out to me. By what I can vaguely remember, the only thing I really solidly remember about this book was the fact that there was a kid who broke into somebody's house, logged in on their computer, and stole some information or sent some emails out as that person, and then they panicked. Somebody was saying people broke into their house. The mom panicked and wrote letters to the 2 people that this kid did it to, and it freaked both the families out. And it's something that I probably would need to reread in the future to see if it gets up higher on this list. But as of right now, this was really not that memorable. Overall, I'd probably say it's probably 2.5 stars at best. Just really was not as memorable as the other 5 options I have here. So that is why in last place is Someone We Know. Alright, coming up in 5th place is my most recent one, The End of Her. So this book I thought was really solid. It had such good potential. It's about a married couple who just had a set of twins, and the father, Patrick, was in a previous marriage. He had an affair. His wife died in a car due to exhaust. He was shoveling out the driveway to get the car out, but there was snow compacted into the exhaust, so it all fumed up into the car, and she died. She was pregnant, and he got himself a large sum of money, and the best friend who he was having an affair with found out and pretty much stalked him for the past couple of years. There's lots of twists in this book. The book, like I said, was very good until you got about 3/4, 2/3 of the way through. There's a couple of twists that happen. There's 2 big things that stand out to me in this book, and I am going to say them in this video. I did a recent reads video previously. We'll have that linked up here if you want to check that out. But I am going to spoil this ending of this book. So if you want to, we're going to put a timestamp on the page, on the screen here in a minute, to let you know what you should skip to if you want to avoid being spoiled with this book. Otherwise, stay tuned because I'm going to have some blasting going on. So Patrick gets shot by Stephanie because she fears that he is trying to kill her, which ultimately, Erica and him, Erica's the ex-lover, apparently have had this whole plan all along, and he has been trying to kill her, and so subtly, but Stephanie's avoided it miraculously. And the only thing that irritates me is I don't know if it truly was Patrick acting like he really loved her, but I felt like a part of him truly did, and I wanted them to work it out. I really wanted them to, come to some conclusion, fuck Erica, make it work. But she just shoots him point blank and makes it look like a suicide. But Erica knows what happened. She knows the truth that she, faked, a death. And you actually find out that Patrick actually did kill Lindsay, the original wife from the beginning, which is also super annoying because, you really, throughout the book, you kind of have a suspicion that Patrick was an asshole but you really didn't want him to be. At least that's how I felt. And when it twisted into him actually being one, I really didn't want it to be true, and I was really upset by it because like his character was just kind of like a fun person to follow. But the big twist that gets me at the end was there's an epilogue, and Erica's body is found in a lake at the bottom of a bridge, and no indication is as of to who did it. She has an affair with Niall, which is Patrick's boss, and he's married with a kid, and it's hinted that he might have been the one who did it, but then Stephanie also kind of hints at that she could have been the one who did it, and then Nancy, which is Niall's wife, also feels like she could have done it. It's just the last part of the book is just like, I didn't want Patrick to die. I knew he was kind of an asshole, but I felt like he could change his heart and join Stephanie and like kill Erica or like do something like that. But no, he just gets shot. I know it's kind of like a triumphant thing. You know, Stephanie's finally freed of it. And, you know, I could see where that would be like a nice point of view, and I get that. But I just kind of felt like Patrick, I don't know. I felt like Patrick was fine, and he could have eventually changed his mind and been better. But yeah, no, those are my spoils for the end of this book. Welcome those of you who skipped over the spoils. I'm more calm now. Yeah, overall, I still enjoyed the book. I thought it was good. Like I said, the twist towards the end just didn't sit well with me. So that is why it's sitting at number 5 as a 3.5 star. There you have The End of Her. All right, coming in at 4th place, I would say The End of Her and this book semi-interchangeable, just because Someone We Know and An Unwanted Guest as well. Okay, well, that spoils it. Number 4 is An Unwanted Guest. I would say this one and The End of Her are semi-interchangeable because that was a book that had twists at the end that I didn't enjoy. This book, to me, I'm going to give it probably 3.5 stars, just like the other one, at least by what I can remember. This book I read maybe 2 years ago. It's been a little while since I've read this one. So definitely something I'm going to need to reread in the future. But by what I remember, because I think I had just read a book that was so similar to it, I was just like, it's literally the same book. A group of people get trapped up in this, I think it's in an inn, and they get snowbound, the power goes out, people start dying. It's one of those like whodunit, like Clue, and I like those typically, but the problem was I think the book I read just before this one was pretty much the exact same trope, and I actually think it might have been the Lucy Foley book, The Guest List or something like that. Some other one where people are snowbound. It could have been One by One by Ruth Ware. All three of them kind of have the same premise. People get trapped, people start dying. Who did it? So that's kind of why I feel like I didn't give this book like as much love at the time, because I feel like I just read the book, even though it was not the same book. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can remember by it. Is a group of people get stuck in this snowbound area. The power goes out. Somebody gets murdered, and then everyone's like, "Oh crap, what's going on?" And then somebody else gets murdered, and it's there's a lot more death in this one than the other ones. But overall, I thought the book was enjoyable, by what I can recall from it. But it is a good book, and I would definitely recommend it. But coming in at 4th place is An Unwanted Guest. All right, we are in top 3 territory, and I'm very excited for that. We're halfway there. So coming in 3rd place is A Stranger in the House. So this is another one that I had just read before The End of Her, and this book was pretty solid. This is at least a 4.5 star book. I thought it was really good. So pretty much this woman gets into a car accident towards the beginning of the book, fleeing a scene of a murder, and everyone just jumps to the conclusion that it was her. She's the one who did it. The husband's kind of skeptical that it could have been her. He's thinking there's no way. I believe it is I think it's a neighbor, who also is got a major crush on the husband. I believe they had a stint with an affair earlier on, in their lives. And a lot of weird things happen in this book. I thought it was really good, though. It worked, and the twists were really solid. I thought it was a really great book, and it worked. That's why it's high up on this list. I would definitely say that it is at least 4 stars. I thought it was really good. So I would definitely recommend this one. There's not much else to say about it. I don't want to spoil anything. But it's a really good book. And definitely one that I would like to reread in the future. So there you have A Stranger in the House. All right, top 2 time. The number 2 spot is taken up by The Couple Next Door. So this was probably one of the first thriller books that I was introduced to, if not the first thriller book I was introduced to, by Danielle, of course. And this one has stood at the test of time. It is a very good book. It's about this couple who are invited to a dinner party. They leave their child behind, with, I think, the husband going back and occasionally checking on him, or both of them going back and checking on him. And one of the times they go back, the kid is gone. And the twist that you get at the end, phenomenal. It's so good. This was the book, I even talked about it when I did a video with this. I for some reason, just picture, the grandpa is, Jack Geller. No idea why. Not a clue. Just kind of pictured him as, a Jack Geller. If you haven't watched Friends, that's who I'm referring to. But I have no idea why, but that's just who I thought of. But I thought the book was really good. The grandpa's, always pissed off with the son, which is not, his son's son. It's, the son-in-law. But I thought it worked. The story was really good. It kind of reminded me of, an actual true crime story that actually legitimately happened.
The Madeleine McCann case.
Yes, the Madeleine McCann case, which is still not solved to this day. But I thought it was really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. At least 4 stars, possibly 4.5. So there you have The Couple Next Door. All right, well, there's only one left, and I'm guessing you probably know what it is if you've read all of her books, because there's only one missing. Duh. And that is Not a Happy Family. This book, 5 stars. One of the best books I read in 2021 that was not by Stephen King, and it was so good. If you guys have seen the movie Knives Out, it's fairly similar. A couple gets murdered at the beginning of the book. There are 2 sisters and a brother, I believe, that are the sons and daughters of the couple. There's inheritance issues. There's, who's going to get the house, who's going to get all the money, who, the will got changed. All this crap is going on. It's, not good. There's one person who always seems kind of sus, but kind of plays it off like they're not the one who did it. Then you find out they're the one who did it, and it's really fun. This book was so good to read. We actually read this. It's fast paced too. It gets going. I couldn't put it down. We literally started it, and I actually think our power went out in the house, and I just kept reading. I just kept going. I was able to power through it even with the power out. So it was actually the only thing I was able to do. So. But yeah, it was really cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and if you are a fan of the movie Knives Out, it's very much so like it, and such a good book. 5 stars. There's, without a doubt, 5. So I would definitely read this if I were you. Whether or not you've read Shari Lapena or not, I would read it. So there you have it, number 1, Not a Happy Family. Alright, so those are my Shari Lapena rankings. Like I said, all of them were, memorable except for someone we know, unfortunately. But yes, they're all really good. I enjoyed reading everything she's written. Hopefully she gives us a surprise and comes out with a book this year. If not, then I will be expecting one in 2023. But yes, very good author. A lot of her stuff has been really good. There's some authors I can't really say that about. But very fun author. Again, we'll have all these linked down below if you're intrigued with any of them. Also, check out podcasts. We're back on the podcast. Hopefully trying to do that every week, if not every other week. Some episodes with just Danielle, some with just me. Most of them will be both of us. We also have the merch store that's open down below. We've got the bookstore open down below. Also, the cemetery dancers are still for sale. Check them out, please. Want to give them a nicer home than what I'm giving them because they're just collecting dust right now. So, but yes, as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, let me know possibly your rankings of Shari Lapena books if you've read all 6 or just 2 of them or 3 of them or whatever. Let me know in the comments. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.